Welcome, everyone. My name is Christopher Cadden. I'm your host for this evening's webinar. Our guest speaker again is Eleanor Silverberg, and she's going to take us through a presentation on staying grounded with mindfulness. And I'm really looking forward to this one. Eleanor has some exciting stuff planned for us this evening. As always, if you do have questions, you can use the Q&A feature in Zoom to write those to us. And at the end of Eleanor's webinar, we'll give her an opportunity to go through and answer those. And at the end, also, Eleanor will be sharing her contact information so that you'll be able to reach out to her directly if you want to do that as well. And then the last thing I'll mention is the webinar is being recorded, and it will be available afterwards on the Caregiving Matters website. And I do encourage you all to go to the website and have a look at our upcoming programs that are coming later this year and through next year. And with that, I'll turn it over to Eleanor, and she'll take us through this webinar.
Thank you, Chris. As Chris just mentioned, this webinar is on abuse prevention, and it's on staying grounded with mindfulness. I'm Eleanor Silverberg, and I am a social worker in private practice, and I help people to cope through adversity and loss. I specialize in helping people who are dealing with dementia, caregiving, and grief. So today's presentation is based on my book, Mindfulness Exercises for Dementia, a guidebook for professionals and family caregivers. Now, mindfulness is one of the assist techniques that I apply in using the 3A coping framework I developed for people so they can be empowered to self-monitor with self-awareness. And the components of the 3A coping framework are acknowledge, assess, assist. And stated most simply, it's acknowledge reality, the situation, what is going on. Assess the impact that it has on you, and assist with strategies. You see, it's presented, the components are presented with interconnected ovals because they work simultaneously. You are assisting by acknowledging and assessing. So today we're going to be talking about the assist component of mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? John Kabat-Zinn is the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction. And his definition is that mindfulness is the awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally to the unfolding of experience moment to moment. So simply, it's being in the present moment, being non-judgmental through the unfolding of experience as the experience is happening. So incorporating the 3 A's, acknowledge, assess, assist, with mindfulness practice, you're paying conscious attention to acknowledge your present internal and external experience, what's going on outside of you and what's going on within. So by paying conscious attention, self-awareness can then emerge so you can assess, self-regulate your reactions to whatever is happening moment by moment. Now, the practice also involves monitoring with awareness that you are being non-judgmental. and allowing things to be just as they are without changing anything. So these may be stated simply, but it is a challenge to follow through with these. But it's worthwhile to practice because there are many benefits to mindfulness: lowering blood pressure, relieving tension, improves concentration, mental clarity, reduces rumination, overaction, reaction, and worry, increases mental regulation and self-control, improves sleep, reduces chronic pain, and improves interactions with others. And that's how abuse can be prevented, by improving on how you interact with others and being calmer. Mindfulness is something that we do in our everyday living, or we can do in our everyday living. How often have you stepped into the shower and had the shower, but been thinking about the meeting today, or what you were going to do today, or who you were meeting with? And then before you know it, the shower's over and you didn't even consciously feel the water on your body and enjoy the shower and being there in that moment. The same with washing the dishes, just being there instead of your mind wandering on something that may have happened in the past or worrying about something that's going on in the future. Driving is a great way to practice mindfulness and practice safety. Like, what speed are you going? What's happening in front of you? What's happening behind you? Being there and in the driver's seat. There are distractions to being mindful, and I call it mind shatter, that's going on inside of your head. You have thoughts that take you away, that can take you away from what is going on in the present moment. Thoughts such as planning what's going to be for dinner today, making decisions, uh, different things that are going on, problem solving that goes on in the mind. So there's a lot happening in there, and being aware of it is an advantage. That the mind is busy. It's also extremely influential to your mood and to your behavior. Not only are you planning, problem solving, but there's also there can be negativity. The mind can be telling you things that may be or may not be based in reality, such as, I can't do this anymore. I shouldn't have said that in our conversation today. Let's say you went out with a friend or in a business meeting, and you, in your mind, you're rehashing it. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. And often you're putting yourself down. And then you have the what ifs. You might be experiencing some pain, and you can blow it out of the proportion. What if, and actually you can lead yourself into like a dark hole, but not in reality, but just in your mind. And this is something to acknowledge and to assess and assist yourself by by being aware, self-monitoring with self-awareness, what is going on in your mind. So you observe your thoughts. Here's a quote that I cited in my book, Keeping It Together, How to Cope as a Family Caregiver Without Losing Your Sanity. And this quote is about your thoughts. Once we understand that thoughts are supposed to arise, we can relax into allowing this to happen. With practice, we begin to realize that thoughts and emotions that naturally arise will also naturally pass away. We realize that they do not always have to be acted upon, and they are not as real as they seem. And these thoughts can keep us from being mindful. A wonderful resource in mindfulness is your breath. Your breath can anchor you into the present moment, and your breath can take you away from your thoughts that may be sabotaging your well-being. So here's a quote from a famous spiritual teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh. Breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as the means to take hold of your mind again. To live mindfully, there are exercises that you can do to practice mindfulness, such as meditation. And there are different forms of meditation, like sitting meditation is often where you focus on your breath. Then there's walking meditation, eating meditation, and a body scan, where body scan is often done lying down, where you just pay attention from your toes, your feet, right up to the going through the rest of the body, and just observing. And you do not try to change anything, just observe in the body scan. Now, there are challenges to practicing mindfulness, such as what I had mentioned, overthinking and ruminating. Ruminating being staying and repeating in the same thought, especially if you're a worrier, you may be somebody who ruminates. For people that are experiencing dementia, mindfulness can be very challenging due to problems with language expression and comprehension, with memory, regulating, self-regulating, and problem with short concentration span. So I developed a modified mindfulness program to specifically accommodate people with dementia. But you don't have to have dementia to benefit from the program. It's a 30 to 45 minute session that involves a series of short exercises, including breathing meditation. And this program was created based on a pilot project, a pilot group that I did at an adult day program of people with moderate stage dementia, where I tested several different exercises and I came up with exercises for people with dementia, and that they can benefit from the traditional mindfulness practice. And the basic principle of this program is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Like by putting together a series of very short exercises that people with dementia can follow, interspersed with breathing meditation. If you take that whole series together, you have like the equivalent of a maybe a 30 to 45-minute breathing meditation. And this program can be customized depending on cognitive level. So the purpose is, the objective is to pay attention to what is outwardly happening, prevent going inward during mindfulness sessions. With people with dementia, especially, advanced dementia, we don't really know where the thoughts are. If you think of your own inner voice, how it goes, and sometimes it can go wild, you just don't know. And people with dementia do not remember and cannot often tell you what they're thinking. And the objective is to maintain attention, staying attentive and engaged in activity throughout the session. The activity does not have to be challenging. It can be simple. The objective is just to be engaged. And then again, remaining in the present moment. So after doing a 12-week program, I wrote the guidebook, Mindfulness Exercises for Dementia. And the exercises in the book are categorized under games and quizzes, repetition, which is like mantras, body awareness, familiar storytelling, and meditation. My father had dementia, and as you know, I'm going to give you an example of a game, how you can modify depending on cognitive level. In my family, my father taught us a game of dominoes that is probably different than what other people play, because you could keep score. And, we played it quite often. And as my father's dementia progressed, he couldn't play the game using scorekeeping anymore. So we played the regular dominoes of matching up numbers to numbers and getting rid of your tiles. And then it got to the point he couldn't play that either. So we changed the game to just identifying the numbers on the dominoes tiles. And what made it easy for him to do and wanting to do is because he was so familiar with the domino tiles. So it was just a matter of changing the way the game was played. And at the end, he couldn't, as it really advanced, he couldn't even give out the numbers. So we just built with the dominoes tiles, and he enjoyed that activity. So I'm going to change the ambience a little bit, and I just told you about, the game that we played with my dad. And the mindfulness exercises does have a category of games and quizzes. And I'm just going to walk you through a short mini demonstration of the mindfulness exercises based on the book. And ambience is important. And so let's say as a caregiver, you would like to do this activity with the person with dementia. It's nice to light a candle and, start by putting on maybe some soft music and just doing a very short breathing exercise, breathing meditation. So I'm going to walk you through 3 short breaths. So if you just sit upright, feet planted on the floor, and we'll start the mini demo with breathing in, breathing out. 1, breathing in, breathing out. 2, breathing in, breathing out. 3. And now we're going to move to the next exercise. So it's going from a meditation to an exercise. And this exercise is completing famous sayings, this quiz. So I'm going to give you, start the saying, and then you'll end it, and then I'll tell you what the last word is in the saying. So, for example, God helps those who help. If you said themselves, you're right. You can't always get what you want. Cleanliness is next to godliness. A watched pot never boils. Beggars can't be choosers. So let's now move into our next exercise. And this exercise is under the category of repetition and involves a mantra. And actually, this mantra is sa, ta, na, ma. And some of you might have heard of it if you're caregiving for someone with dementia, because this mantra is recommended by the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation as a mantra that's very good for memory and, again, prevention of Alzheimer's. So the Satanama is also the Tanama represents the life cycle. So, and there's hand gestures that go with it. As you can see, if you look at Sa, just put your thumb to your forefinger, and that represents birth. And then there's Ta, which is your middle finger to your thumb, and that's Ta represents life itself, being. And Na represents death, and that's your ring finger to your thumb. And then there's Ma, which is your baby finger to your thumb, which represents rebirth. And the way you do it is you, as you say the sound, you make the hand gesture that goes with it. So let's just try it. And then I'm going to put on the music and we'll do it together for a moment. So sa, ta, na, ma. Okay, I'm just going to put it on now. And you can sing along with it. I'm putting on the song because I don't know whether you'd want me singing it. I'm not that bad a singer though. Okay. Let's begin. Okay, you can look this up on YouTube or you can look it up on Google and read up more about it. It is really quite fascinating and there's lots of benefits to it, so worthwhile looking into. We're going to conclude the mini demonstration as I walk you through a guided breathing meditation for a few minutes. And again, it's you can see that in the demo, you did exercises and then also breathing meditation. Notice in the breathing meditation, if thoughts come in. When they come in, just notice it. Notice what you're thinking, and then just let it go and go back to focusing on your breath. So we're going to count the breaths. What you're going to do is breathe in, and at the end of the exhale, when you breathe out, you count 1, and then do it again, in, out, 2, and so on until 5. You count to 5, and then you start again at 1. And that way, it also helps you to keep your focus, that you're not going off and into thought and just not paying attention to the count. So you go back to 1 after 5. Okay, so I'll start you off and then I'll leave you for a bit to do it on your own, okay? So sitting upright, feet planted on the ground, your eyes can be open or closed, and just sit alert and start by, and we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, okay? Breathing in, breathing out. 1. Breathing in, breathing out. 2. And I'll leave you to do count on your own. Where is your mind now? Focusing on the breath. You can continue now with the count or let go of the count for the remaining moments of this meditation. And you can start bringing yourself back into the room. Your eyes were closed. You can open them, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. As we are now concluding the presentation, and I hope this presentation was helpful for you and that you enjoyed the mini demonstration. Okay, the video for this presentation will, as Chris had mentioned, will be coming back up on the website as a video. The recordings are of the first two webinars from the Zoom series, A Coping Framework to Empower Yourself and Strengthen Your Resiliency with Self-Nurturing Strategies, are now on the website for you to view. I'm Eleanor Silverberg. Here, my contact information to learn more about my work or to order the book, Mindfulness Exercises for Dementia, is on the website eleanorsilverberg.com. And to contact me directly by email, hello@eleanorsilverberg.com, or by phone 647-624-5677. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eleanor. That was absolutely wonderful. And once again, thank you to everyone joining us this evening. We appreciate you attending with us today. As Eleanor mentioned, the recording of this session will be made available on the Caregiving Matters website in a few days. And the other two recordings from the series are there now as well. So I do encourage you to go to the website and check that out as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you, Eleanor, for an excellent webinar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone.